In this video, we're going to talk about one of the most fundamental aspects of the game of golf, and that is starting with the grip. In other words, how you hold the golf club in your hands. So I've got a 3-wood here today, and I'm going to hold this up for the camera so you can kind of see it. So on the back side of the grip, when we wrap our fingers around that club, we've got different variations that we can grip this golf club. So if you look at my hands right now and how I'm gripping this club, you're going to notice that my pinky on my right hand is overlapping between the index finger and middle finger of my left hand. So this is called the overlap grip. This is the grip that I use to hold on to my clubs. Now the second style of grip that is very popular in golf is the interlock. So now that pinky and that index finger are just going to lock around each other and interlock together. So this is called the interlock grip. And then the third and final grip would be to just do the baseball grip, or what we call the 10-finger grip. So this is where both hands just kind of rest on top of each other and your pinky and your index finger are just touching. They're not overlapping, they're not interlocking, they're just resting on top of each other. So that's 3 different styles of grips that you can start off with on the back side of your club. And then we've got the front side of the club, how we put our hands down the front of the shaft here. So this is where our thumbs and fingers will wrap around the club. All right, so now if you take a look at my hands as I set them on the club here, we've got our left hand that's gonna grab the club, resting that shaft across the palm of our hand, and it kind of goes up into that index finger. So most beginners put the club shaft too much in the palm of their hand. Instead, I like to have that shaft running through the middle of my index finger here, so that it goes across that middle stretch of the index finger, and then the end of my grip is going to be coming down here towards my palm on the base side, on the low side of my pinky here. So it kind of goes across your hand diagonally there, and once you've got that club sitting there, going across your index finger and just touching the bottom side of your pinky finger, then what you're going to do is you're going to wrap your other fingers onto the club. So now we've got 3 fingers here wrapping onto the club, and then we can wrap our thumb onto the club as well. And so depending on how you prefer, whether a weak grip, a neutral grip, or a strong grip, will kind of depend on how much that hand rotates around the grip. So if you want more of a strong grip, then you're just going to rotate your hand around more to the right of the grip so that your hand sits more on top of the club. If you want more of a weak grip, then you're going to rotate your hand more to the underside so that your thumb sits more left of center. And then neutral, your thumb kind of just sits just right of center, and you've got the V here, which is between your thumb and your index finger. It kind of creates this little V shape. So with your left hand, you want that V shape in a neutral grip to be pointing towards our chin here. So that V is kind of just going straight up the grip, up our sternum to our chin. Now, when we take our grip with our other hand, our right hand, again, we're going to kind of start by just putting our palm here on the side of the club, wrapping our fingers around the shaft, and that's where we can then do that overlap, interlock, or baseball style grip so that our pinky and our index finger of our 2 hands come together. So now that I've taken my interlock grip, then I've set my thumb on the grip, and now we've got this V in our right hand here. So the V in your right hand should be pointing towards this right shoulder. So that's going to be the neutral position for a neutral grip, having your left hand V going at your chin, and then your right hand V is going to be going at this right shoulder. Now again, once your hands are both on the grip and they're connected using either that overlap, that interlock, or that baseball grip. So I've got my hands on, I'm all connected, I'm holding the club, I'm ready to go. Now we can make adjustments if we want to strengthen or weaken our grip from this neutral position. So again, we can rotate our hands a little bit more to the right. So this right hand is going to rotate kind of on the underside of the club, and then this left hand is more rotating on top of the club. So this is going to put your hands more on the right side of that grip, and that's a strong grip position. So what it's going to allow you to do is you're going to be able to hold that club up, and when you start to turn those hands back towards center or back to the left, that's going to shut that club face. So the strong grip is trying to help you shut that club face easier so that you can hit the hook or the draw type of spin on the golf ball. Now if we shift our hands and just kind of rotate them around the shaft so that now we're on the left side of center or the left side of the grip, now we've got what's called a weak grip. So if we hold that club up, it makes it harder to turn that club face over. So it keeps a weaker grip, so we can't shut the face as much. Instead, this helps us more if we're trying to hit a fade or have some kind of, left to right spin on the golf ball so that that ball can fly to the right instead of the left. So the weak grip is one way that we can set up if we're hitting a fade. The strong grip is how we set up if we're trying to hit a draw. And then the neutral grip, again, putting our hands more towards the center of the shaft there, so our V's are pointing towards our chin and our right shoulder here. And that's gonna be more set up for trying to just hit it straight without putting much curve on the golf ball. Trying to keep that club face more square at impact. So take these 3 basic grips and practice just putting your hands on the golf club, feeling how that grip rests in your fingers and wrapping your fingers around the grip, and get comfortable with either the interlock, the baseball grip, or the overlap grip. And once you get comfortable with one of those styles of grip, just continue to take your hands off the club, put them back on the club, grip again, then take them back off, then put them back on, grip again, and just do this 50 to 100 times in a day, and try to do this a couple times a week, and you'll start to mold that grip in naturally, where you can just put your hands on the club and get right into your grip, because it feels natural at that point. So practice it enough each week and it'll start to become just normalized to where it feels natural again. So if you're making a grip change, it might feel really weird at first, but again, once you start making that change, it's gonna eventually work itself out to where it feels normal. I used to be a baseball grip where I had all 10 fingers on the club here, and then as I switched to this overlap grip, I started with it when I was hitting putts, so I started taking the overlap grip on my putter for a while, and then eventually it became so natural feeling when I was putting, I just started doing it on all of my irons, woods, drivers as well, and now it's become that natural grip that just feels natural and comfortable to me. So practice these grips, figure out which one feels best for you. I prefer the overlap, a lot of people prefer the interlock, but even the baseball grip is not a bad one to try as well if you're a beginner. Once you get your grip figured out, then adjust it by strength, so a weak grip, a neutral grip, or a strong grip based on your flight tendency. So if you're hitting slices, try to strengthen your grip more to a draw type of grip. If you're hitting hooks and drawing too much, maybe weaken that grip a little bit. And if you're just fighting the ball straight and normal, then a neutral grip's probably gonna suit you well. Thanks for watching, guys. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Share this channel with a friend who plays golf. Let's get more people into the game, learning how to play golf. And it'll be more fun for you and your friends if you guys can go out and play better rounds of golf after implementing these different tips in these videos. So I appreciate you being here, giving me some time to watch today's tips and lessons. You can find more about our training programs, our drills, our different practice plans that we have available for golfers to utilize at FoyGolfAcademy.com, which will be linked below in this YouTube video.